What it is, y'all? It is your old boy Pilk, and I'm coming back at you with more Danmachi, and today we are going to be talking about the new Selection Gacha. That's not that. We will do that, though, in a moment. This right here. So the Selection Gacha is a really awesome thing. Actually, before we kick this off, let's go ahead and do the freebie, because I haven't done it today, and if I don't do it now, I might forget it. So, let's see. Ooh! New phone, who it is? I haven't gotten a Rainbow Door on one of these in a really long time. I'm actually really glad we did this now. Let's see. Now, to be fair, I think all the general pool units are in here, so we might not get a new unit, but let's see. New phone? Okay. It's that Otaro. Pass. He'll be dope. If you want to know, that Otaro is been outdated for a very long time. So hopefully you guys pull something really awesome in this. I keep forgetting that's live, so we're going to do that every single day. Is that my first one of him? Well, never mind, it's not dope. I thought I had one of him before. Never mind, it's not dope. Whatever. Either way, good luck on that. Make sure you go do your runs. We'll cover that every single day when it drops. I'll just find a way to do it at the beginning of a video. But what I really wanted to talk about was the Selection Gacha. Now, Selection Gacha is really straightforward. Literally, well, first of all, you got to pay for it. This is not going to be done with free-to-play Irish. You got to pay to play on this one. But I've got, 500 paid Iris, so we can do one of these polls today. Now, you're going to pick 2 adventures, and you're going to pick an assist. I really wish they would have let us pick 2 assists on this. I think that would have been awesome, but, I mean, I get it. Those are what the rates are. I really got a few assists that I really need, though. So for me, those are the ones I would honestly be after more than anything else. But you got to pick 2 adventures, and you got to pick an assist. So if you actually go in here to select an adventurer, it actually gives you all the adventures in the order in which we just received them. So you can actually go through here and select it fairly easily. Now, I know I need this bell, so we're going to add him. Now, the second adventure slot might be an interesting take. I don't know who I need from this. Now, I will say, those of you guys that are new at the game, and I do have a lot of people asking me this question, if you go down here, 100%, if you do not have her max limit broken, what you need to do, where the hell is she? I know she's in here. There we are. Bam. You need this Haruhime. If you do not have her, you've got to try to put her on your selection. This should be your primary focus. This Haruhime is still one of the, if not the most important character in this game. If you don't know why, basically her first skill is a strength and magic debuff, and a 40% debuff at that. So it's a very powerful debuff. Her second skill is actually an MP regen for herself. Not a crazy one, but an MP regen nonetheless. And it does allies counter rate and penetration rate times 30%. Now that counter rate is going to be really good because you want this Haruhime to counter. Because when she counters, she also heals. And while they call it a low heal, I have news for you. She heals a lot better than anybody else who's got a low heal. So every time she does a counter, she's going to be healing your team. So the higher that counter rate for her, the better she's going to do. The only thing that to be aware of, though, obviously you can't do multiple adventurer, I guess, counter rate buffs. So if you're doing, you can't really stack those buffs. The buffs don't stack like that. Adventure and assist buffs do, but whatever the highest buff is that your adventurer has is what she's going to utilize. So don't get too crazy with that, but that's really good. Typically what I do is I debuff, then I come in here and I do skill 3, which is allies, 30% HP, heal. Not a regen, a heal. So that's instantly 30% HP. Allies, status buff, and foes status debuff plus 2 turns. So in other words, any debuff that you put on your opponent, i.e. the debuffs you put on turn 1, she's going to add 2 more turns to that. Now, 1 turn is going to be used up, so for the sake of argument, we're going to do turn 1, we're going to do we're going to do Akane. So turn 1, we're going to do this. So at the end of turn 1, whoever we've applied this to is then going to have 2 turns left. Turn 2, she's going to come in and she's going to do Yosuga. Now, with Yosuga, she's going to hit that opponent with this debuff plus 2 turns. That instantly turns it into 4 turns, because remember, one of those turns is expired. So the end of turn 2, it's now down to 3 turns. Hopefully that makes sense. Whereas the end of turn 2, we would have had 1 left. We now have 3 left. So you hit them with that a couple of times, or for reality's sake, you go in, hit it with Yosuga. All the other debuffs are going to be at play. Then you go back and do skill 2 whenever you have a chance, and then you basically spam this until you run out of MP. Hit this 2 times, and then you come back and spam this until you run out of MP again. Hit this 2 times, so on and so forth. It's a really powerful build. And if you don't see the value in this, trust me. Just take my word for it. If you don't have her, you absolutely need her. Then we get to her special arts. So not only does she have a crazy good debuff, she has a really good all allies buff and an MP regen for herself. She also has an HP heal and that buff debuff replication. Then we get to her SA, which is absolutely bonkers. Allies, ultra HP heal. It's like 100% HP heal, or pretty close to, if not. 40% HP regen for 3 turns. So that means if you really think about this, after you do this for the next 3 turns, which is not you can't replicate HP heals or HP regens, unfortunately. Yosuga will not replicate that, but for the next 3 turns, she's going to be doing that along with whatever heals you're doing with Yosuga. So it's crazy. Like, you just never die with her. Your units just stay alive all the time. It's nuts. Unless you're in war game. It's a whole different situation. But then you go down here, strength and magic plus 100%. Now, remember what I said? You can't stack. Basically what this does, any strength or magic buffs that you have on your units is going to be replaced with 100%. And that is going to make them absolutely killer. So, once again, if you're new at the game, I can't stress this enough, you gotta have Haruhime. You'll see that she's on almost every build. It's very rare. And it's usually a challenge to myself to build a team without Haruhime because they just don't act the same. So if you don't have Haruhime, 100% you want her. Now for me, I'm not really after her, to be honest. I've maxed Limit Broken Mind. I'm not worried about that. She's going to be around. I've got the bell that I need on there. And I've really got to figure out who I want in my next slot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go over here to my status board. All right? Now, let's do this by... Let's do this by level. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for someone that's a +4 or a +3. So you notice my Haruhime is completely maxed. Once again, maxing her is so worth. So I'm looking for a +4 or a +3. Now I'm going to go ahead and do one more thing here, and I'm going to make this 4 stars only because I might have a +4, +3, 3-star, and I don't want to do that. So let's look here. And the other thing we can do, let's see. I think we can sort this by regular. Take out the time-limited units because we can't get time-limited units on there. So let's see. The Firewolf would be really good. Outlaw Bell would be really good. Apollo is an assist, so let's go ahead and just do this by Adventurers for now. And let's go back down here. Now that's really limited it down. So Firewolf would be really good. I don't know if he's on there, though. I know that Outlaw Bell is. He'd be really good. I might just do Firewolf. Let's keep going down here. See, and there's the light Bell. Now the reason I put him on here, even though he's +1, is because he's a really, really, really solid unit. I really need to put some bonds into him. So if I can justify that, then I could throw some bonds on him and be perfectly happy. So now the other thing to consider here, I do not have a Fells unit at all. The 2 or 3 Fells units that are in the game have evaded me every single time. So I could throw Fells on here. That would be an option. And the reason I would do that is for the CP rewards. By the time you pull Fells, you could actually gain another 2, 3, 4, even 500 CP very quickly. I've shown how to do that in previous videos. But, I'm sorry, not CP. Iris from CP rewards. I've shown how to do that in previous videos. For me, though, either Outlaw Bell or wealth, I think, are going to be the best. I know there's some really great units in here, but I'm really more at this juncture looking for assists. I've got stellar teams. Actually, that Levia. I think I need that Levia. Yeah. I'm going to do Levia because I've already done a bell. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back in here. All right. Adventurer slot 2. I'm going to go grab that Levia. Where is she at? There she is. She's really good. Now, I know I've got some other units I could probably go after, but she seems to draw fairly frequently. Now, slot 3 for assists. I had a lot of people ask me about these, and for assists, the best thing you can do is pick an assist that has a general characteristic that you're going to use a lot. Either physical debuff, physical buff, magic debuff, magic buff. There's a lot of stellar units in here you could pick. Some of the units that I use all the time, I mean, first of all, this Hestia is absolutely spectacular. Strength of magic minus 15%. You really can't beat that. That's a really great debuff. There are better individual debuffs, but as far as a singular, like, one-off skill, Winnie's on here. But Lead wasn't. Was he not? Hold up. He is not. Interesting. I don't think Winnie's a really a very good assist anyway to go after, especially considering we're getting all the free ones right now, and she's just kind of okay. This Hestia would be a fantastic choice. Strength of magic minus 15%. Great skill. Absolutely awesome. This Seer, another really great one. Magic plus 15%, light and wind attack damage plus 10%. Fantastic unit. And do bear in mind, that's if you max her out, because this is the great thing about assists. Once you max out an assist, her skills get even better. So maxing out an assist is going to be even better than just kind of, picking an assist. The other thing you want to consider here, if you already have some units that do general, physical and magic buffs and debuffs, you then might want to go in here and consider doing ones that are elemental damage. Like she's light and wind attack damage. So if you've got like a really good fire team, look for somebody, case in point, where is he? Apollo, who I actually need one more of, but I'm not going to pick him today. Apollo is fire and light resistance down 15%. Now, and allies strength plus 15%. I forgot about that. So he's a really great unit if you've got fire and or a light team. Look for assists that do multiple elements. So like fire and light, wind and dark, things like that. So really heavily, pick who you're going to put here and consider it very carefully. For me, there's only one clear choice. And that, for me, is... If she's in here, she should be. Where's she at? Where did she go? You know what? There's an easy way to find out. If we go up here to unit search and we go to regular, I can then filter this down by the unit I'm looking for, Demeter. I need Colonel Demeter. So, the reason that I'm going after her personally, if I max her out here, I've got 2 of her, and I really, really, really want this unit. Critical rate and magic resist minus 20%. That magic resist minus 20% is something I lack in a lot of my builds, and that is actually costing me some damage, so I really, really, really want this unit. Oh my goodness, go away. Now, it's so annoying. Now, the other thing to consider is her magic skill is, I believe, the highest in the game, if not, like, maybe the second highest in the game. It's really, really, really high. So my magic teams have been suffering for lack of this unit for me. So I'm going to go ahead and put her on here. And she's actually the one I want more than anybody else on here. So here we go. So, for instance, the reason that I picked Bell, I've got 1 bond on him. I need more bonds. And I do plan to chase him at some point if he ever gets like a heroic trial or something like that. Another reason I say you need to be picking Haruhime if you don't have her, because next week she's getting a heroic trial. If you're new at the game, you don't know what her heroic trial is. Heroic trial is a free bond. All you gotta do is fight the fight. You get a free bond of those units. So, like I said, getting 1 unit isn't really good enough. You got to have all 5 bonds into a unit. You basically have to pull 6 of a unit to max them out for the unit to be any good. That said, it's not you can't use them, just they're not going to be at maximum power without it. irrelevant to the argument, my bell has 1 bond, so he's like right here. And if you want to see the difference in power, just take a look. This is him maxed out. It's a pretty substantial difference. So you really, really, really want to take advantage of this situation. So for me, he's got a crazy magic stat. Remember I said my magic teams, I need to work on him a bit. He's got a crazy good magic stat. He's got a decent amount of agility, not really akin to what we've been seeing lately, but he is still very strong, very good, and he hits like a truck. Plus, if we go in here, he does strength and magic down 35%. Remember I said Haruhime does 40%. If I don't want to use Haruhime's, I could use his. Plus he does allies status debuff minus 2 turns. So that's kind of the antithesis of that Haruhime skill I was telling you about. Whereas if my allies have a debuff applied to him, he can nullify 2 turns of that. Now if you're up against an opponent that is using someone like Haruhime that's replicating those things, this just kind of nullifies that attack. But most of the time if you're up against an opponent and they hit you with a debuff, this will wipe it out first turn. It's a very, very powerful skill and something only a handful of units have, especially with a unit like this that's going to be attacking. So that's one of the main reasons that I'm using him. Also, status buff minus 2 turns and self plus 2 actions, low light magic attack. This dude is going to hit hard and frequently, and he is really, really good. So that's why I chose him. He's a unit that I've been working on for a long time. He's one that when he first came out, I kind of underrated him. So that's the thing. Once again, with Leafia, another reason that I chose her is because she hits really hard. She's a foe singular, so she's more like for the Wrecker Buster events, which we just got back again, and any single target event, she's really, really, really good, and she hits really hard. Plus, she does magic resist and water resist down 30%, so that debuff is going to be really important to my teams. Like I said, these are the units I'm picking. Make educated decisions on what you're choosing because you do not want to mess this up. But the first one here is guaranteed at least one of those units. Let's see what we got. All right. Hopefully we'll get multiples. Come on, baby. Nah. All right. I'm getting greedy here. I don't need to get greedy. Come on. Come on. We're just going to get the guaranteed. That's fine. That's fine. Who's the guaranteed? It's not Demeter. It's Bell. Okay. I said I was after him. Not my preference, but it is what it is. You know, I got, the unit that I put on there. Now, turn 2 is not guaranteed. So before you proceed here, make an educated decision. For me, I would say if you're going after Haruhime, put Haruhime in one of these slots, because you can't double them up. You got to choose 3 separate units, and then go after that unit. Do bear in mind that assists are lower rates. So like while your adventures are like 2% rates, she's like a 1% rate. Now, to be fair, it's more like a third here, but if we go to the gacha details and we go down here, it'll say 2 adventures can be set in the select slot. You can choose from characters that appear in the gacha, blah, 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 except for time-limited units. Okay, so we go to here, 11 draw paid gacha. So it'll tell you that you have a 1% chance of either one of these units. Actually, it's 1% even for the adventures. That's weird. Probably because there's 2 of them. So they're the only 4 stars in here, though. So if you get a 4-star, you're getting one of those units, which is nice. But do remember the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and 7th. Every odd pull is the only guaranteed pull. So do bear that in mind. Guys, that is the video. Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Who are you going for in these banners? And if you're new at the game, 100%, let me stress this really hard for you. Go after Haruhime. Go after someone that either does strength and or magic, buffing or debuffing in the assist slot if you don't have someone that already does that. Pay close attention, guys. Take advantage because this is a really, really, really good value if you plan to actually spend some money in the game. You're not going to find a better value on this right now. even with some of the bundles and things like that we have going on. But do bear in mind, and if you guys followed me last time we did this, every non-guaranteed pull for me screwed me over completely, did not give me a 4-star. Your odds of it are very low. So before you invest in this, do bear in mind that, yes, your odds of getting the unit you want, very, very, very high on 4 of your potential 7 draws. So good luck to you. Let me know what you guys got if you pulled on this, or if you don't plan to pull in it, maybe root on the people that are going to, because it's a good decision if you can afford it, but it is still a gamble. So let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, share. I'll catch you on the next one.